Did Jungkook's sudden arrival at Incheon International Airport today hide a bigger news behind his simple Calvin Klein look? Why are fans buzzing with speculation? And what does this return really mean for BTS's global journey? Share your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you support Jungkook. And don't forget to subscribe for more breaking updates. Jungkook is back in Korea. Today, 16th, early morning BTS, Jungkook finished his schedule in New York and entered the country via Incheon International Airport. Jungkook completed his airport fashion with a casual yet clean mood with a Calvin Klein gray half-zip-up sweatshirt, like a global ambassador for Calvin Klein jeans underwear. The news of Jungkook's arrival at dawn immediately triggered waves of attention that rippled across social media, fan communities, and the entertainment industry. Why did his return feel more than just a regular flight back home? Why did thousands of fans start speculating about hidden meanings, future plans, and upcoming announcements the moment the youngest BTS member stepped through Incheon International Airport? These are the questions burning across timelines and headlines, and the answers reveal how much influence one artist can hold over not only music culture, but also global branding, fashion, and national pride. In the early hours of the morning, long before the city fully awakened, Incheon Airport was already surrounded by quiet anticipation. The arrival of Jungkook, global pop icon, fashion ambassador, and representative of a generation, was enough to make a moment as ordinary as passing through customs feel like a monumental cultural event. His schedule in New York had just ended, a schedule filled with high-level interviews, media appearances, and behind-the-scenes meetings that remained tightly under wraps. Yet, the way he carried himself upon landing in Korea raised more questions than answers. Was this return a simple closure of a foreign schedule, or was it the first step toward a larger, undisclosed project? The choice of outfit may look casual, but for global fans and industry experts, it is a strategic signal. Jungkook appeared in a Calvin Klein gray half-zip-up sweatshirt, embodying the perfect fusion of comfort and sharp modern identity. This wasn't just airport fashion. This was an extension of his ongoing role as a global ambassador for Calvin Klein jeans. Underwear, a partnership that has already rewritten the rules of how K-pop idols influence global fashion markets. The understated outfit instantly sparked discussions online. Why gray? Why this particular sweatshirt? And why such a simple look after a high-profile US schedule? To fans, every detail could be a hint. Every shade of fabric could be a clue to an upcoming concept or campaign. The tension escalates when considering timing. Jungkook's return on the 16th is not just a random date. It coincides with a week filled with speculation about new group-level activities, hidden release windows, and industry whispers that BTS's next era might begin sooner than expected. Fans are connecting dots, analyzing patterns, and amplifying their voices on every platform available. Was his trip to New York tied to negotiations beyond just music, perhaps deeper collaborations with Calvin Klein, or even groundwork for BTS's eventual regrouping? These burning questions flood social media feeds with theories that feel almost investigative in nature. Jungkook's airport entry sparked intense reactions not only among fans but also within the media. Reporters described the mood as both casual and electrifying, noting how his quiet confidence seemed to carry the weight of international stardom. His image at that moment symbolized more than personal branding. It symbolized continuity. The unbroken line of BTS's presence on the world stage, even as individual schedules pull them across continents. The emotional gravity of this return cannot be underestimated. For Korean fans, it was a proud moment to see Jungkook back on home soil. For international fans, it was proof that their idol, despite immense global commitments, remains deeply tied to his roots. The narrative deepens when examining fan responses. Hashtags tied to his arrival trended instantly, gathering millions of mentions within hours. Some fans saw the moment as comforting, a reminder of Jungkook's stability in a world that feels increasingly uncertain. Others interpreted it as a prelude to shock announcements, perhaps even a strategic hint of future BTS milestones. The theories range from plausible to extreme, but the emotional current uniting all these interpretations is undeniable. Jungkook has the power to move global audiences simply by walking through an airport. The broader implications for Calvin Klein cannot be ignored either. By choosing this understated sweatshirt, Jungkook reaffirmed the seamless link between idol culture and global fashion. His influence directly translates into economic impact. Within minutes of photos being released, Online searches for the exact sweatshirt surged. Retail sites faced traffic spikes. Discussions of restocks and price inflation circulated among fans who wanted to replicate the look. This is the power of a single moment, magnified by the cultural weight Jungkook carries. As the day progresses, the sense of mystery grows stronger. Why was his New York schedule kept so discreet? Why does this return feel staged for maximum symbolic effect? Could this arrival mark the beginning of a new promotional cycle for BTS, even as military service obligations still weigh heavily on the group's timeline? Fans cannot help but feel that behind the simplicity of Jungkook's sweatshirt and quiet demeanor lies a storm of hidden strategies, corporate negotiations, and artistic visions waiting to unfold. The emotional undertone is just as significant. Jungkook's return is not only about entertainment or fashion, it is about the reassurance of presence. In a time where every BTS member's movement is scrutinized against the backdrop of military service, individual projects, and group hiatuses, the sight of Jungkook walking confidently through Incheon Airport feels like a promise. A promise that the global phenomenon is far from over, that every return is part of a larger narrative weaving together music, culture, and identity. What remains clear is that Jungkook's presence is never neutral. His movements, outfits, and schedules become signals to decode, headlines to amplify, and emotions to share. Today's return is no different. The gray sweatshirt is already a cultural artifact. The arrival date is already a timestamp in fan archives. The questions raised what next, when, and why now are already dominating discussions across nations. As the news builds, one conclusion becomes unavoidable. Jungkook's return to Korea is more than just a geographical shift. It is an event layered with cultural significance, emotional resonance, and global impact. Fans will continue to analyze every second of footage, every angle of his outfit, and every rumor surrounding his US schedule. Media outlets will frame this as another proof of BTS's unstoppable influence, and Calvin Klein will likely see another surge in sales thanks to the effortless power of their ambassador's presence. The tension is only beginning. The calm-faced Jungkook showed today might hide preparations for announcements that could shake the industry. Until then, fans are left with a puzzle to solve and an airport arrival to replay endlessly. Jungkook is back in Korea, but what this truly means is still a news unfolding, one that has the world watching, waiting, and questioning. The controversy begins not with Jungkook's sweatshirt, but with the questions it triggered the moment he stepped into Incheon International Airport. Why did Hybe remain silent about the details of his US trip? Why was there no official statement about the purpose of his tightly packed New York schedule? Fans began to wonder, was Jungkook only there for promotional duties? Or was something far bigger being hidden from public view? Some industry insiders have already whispered that negotiations in New York weren't limited to Calvin Klein. The timing, they argue, overlaps suspiciously with meetings involving major American labels and entertainment giants. Could Jungkook have been finalizing solo deals beyond Hybe's direct control? The speculation has sent fandoms into chaos, with some fearing it signals cracks in BTS's unified management, while others interpret it as a bold expansion that could strengthen the group's global footprint. Another layer of controversy lies in Jungkook's airport demeanor itself. While his casual look was praised for being refreshing, critics argue it downplayed his superstar image too much. Was this a deliberate choice to signal independence, distancing himself from Hybe's polished, larger-than-life idol branding? Or was it simply a calculated marketing move orchestrated by Calvin Klein to highlight minimalism as the new luxury? The debate spiraled into trending hashtags where fans clashed, some defending his right to personal comfort, others accusing the company of using Jungkook as a billboard without respecting his artistry. The controversy deepened when economic analysts pointed out the sudden surge in Calvin Klein stock searches following Jungkook's arrival photos. Was the entire airport appearance staged for financial gain rather than genuine transparency about his career? Skeptics noted that every camera seemed perfectly placed, every angle curated, almost as if the return was less about Jungkook coming home and more about triggering a calculated wave of consumer spending.